Do you get frustrated when your FIFA Ultimate Team player shoots like that? Well, I do, as you can see. But luckily, I found the guys at Foot Helpers help me not to make my players shoot like absolute Josh McGuinnesses. And they can help you as well. If you want your weekend league games doing for you, if you want a bit of guidance, if you want some tips and tricks, you can, ask those to do it for a price, and you can get a discount if you use my code OldGrandpaJoe at checkout for 20% off your order. I just want to say before this preview starts, yes, I know it kicks off at 5:30. I made another mistake in my preview. Sorry. Get on with the video. Alright then. Hello everyone, and welcome to the preview for Hull City versus Leicester City under 23s in the EFL Trophy Group H Northern category. Kicked off the season with a draw in the 90 minutes, but won it on penalties away at Sunderland in the Carabao Cup. Now, before we start the league season, we're in another competition, the EFL Trophy. 2 EFL competitions that aren't leagues in the space of, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, in the space of 4 days. It's mad. But, yeah, the squad is looking extremely thin at the moment. So we're going to have to deal with that. Anyway then, I think it's time that we cracked on into the team news, where Callum Elder, Louis Coyle, Josh McGuinness, Leonardo da Silva Lopez and James Scott will be unavailable for the Tigers Fest EFL Trophy group game against Leicester City under 23s at the K-Com Stadium. Callum Elder will not be risked after sustaining a groin injury at the back end of last season. Elder will be in contention for a return against Gillingham. Louis Coyle is not suspended for this game, but picked up a knock last season for Fleetwood, so will not be risked. Coyle will be suspended for the Gillingham game and will return for the first league game at the K-Com Stadium against Crewe Alexandra. Josh McGuinness and James Scott are on international duties with Scotland under 21s and Northern Ireland respectively. Josh McGuinness, the other night, was sent off for Northern Ireland, so that's good. Can we have him back a bit early? We're struggling for squad depth. Ease's just got injured, for goodness sake. Leonardo da Silva Lopez will return in about 2 or 3 weeks. Da Silva Lopez spent time off in pre-season due to illness. Tom Eaves was forced off injured against Sunderland, so is unlikely to feature. He left the stadium alight in a protective boot. I'm recording this a few hours after the game, just so I can get it all edited and up to the standard which I want it to be. And I've listened to Grant McCann's interview or whatever, and he said that Eaves is in a protective boot. It's an ankle injury. Went over on his ankle. It's similar to what he did against Preston in this competition. Was it in this competition? I don't know. Similar to what he did against Preston last season, but they hope it isn't as severe. George Long missed the game at the Stadium of Light with a knock he picked up in training. Grant McCann said that he will be back on Thursday in his post-match interview with David Burns. Grant McCann has no other injury concerns. Now then, onto the referee watch. The referee is Ross Joyce, with his 2 assistants being Graham Five and Paul Newhouse. Wonder if he has got a new house. And the 4th official is Barry Gordon. What up, Baz? Big Baz Gosser. Now then, onto the stats. These are taken from the Sunderland game in the Carabao Cup. Hull City had 45.5% of possession at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland had 6 shots, Hull City had 7. The Tigers had 1 shot on target in the 90 minutes of football. How bad is that 1 shot on target? Grant McCann's side had a pass accuracy percentage of 63.8%. City won 77.8% of tackles. City won 52.2% of aerial duels. Matt Ingram made 5 saves. What do I think? Then, we were poor against Sunderland and got very lucky on penalties. But the penalties were good. The penalties were taken very, very well. Matt Ingram, my guy. The win will give the players a morale boost. This will be a good test for the Leicester under-23s to see how they match up against a team like ours, which is still learning and developing. We are lacking some depth with injuries and suspensions now, not gonna lie. Head-to-head battles then. I've got this from the segment that you'll see next. I've picked up Greg Doherty and Keane Lewis-Potter taking battle, not statistic battle, on pitch battles against Sydney Tavares and Darnell Johnson. Darnell Johnson, full back, you might have heard of him a little bit, and Keane Lewis-Potter, he might play on the left, he might play up front, because against Sunderland he's a natural striker and he was put on the left hand side. What a joke. Anyway, now then we're on to the opposite view. 2 out of 2 so far. I can tell you for Gillingham, I have got a fan lined up and I've got everything sorted for that one. I've just got to find stuff and get myself, a bit further in advance. Today we are talking to a Leicester fan called Josh Smith from the YouTube channel Sportsa. Really great guy. Link to his stuff is down in the description. His Instagram and his YouTube are on screen. So, yeah. Josh, it's over to you, my guy.
Alright, Hull fans, Josh here from the YouTube channel Sportsa. So as you can see, I am a Leicester City fan. So basically today I'm going to give you guys an overview on the Leicester under 23 side of things. Of course, Hull will take on the Leicester under 23s in the pre-season friendly. So yeah, starting off with the Leicester under 23s overall, they are a pretty good side compared to other youth development sides. The Foxes usually perform very, very well in the Premier League type of under 23, 21 division. They've won the league a few times. So it should be a very, very tough game for you guys. If you move on to players, you guys need to watch out for the best players in the Leicester under 23 side. In my opinion, Sydney Tavares is definitely up there. Brendan Rodgers has spoken very, very highly of the Portuguese international. He's a centre midfielder and he's probably going to be involved in the Leicester first team this season. So you guys are definitely going to have to look out for him. A couple of other players to mention as well. Donald Johnson, a very, very solid defender as well. Admiral Musgrave up front offers a lot of threat. He's done fairly well. He always seems to score for the Leicester on the 23s. Overall, I think you guys can expect a very open game. I think the defence, you could probably break in behind, but overall the Leicester on the 23s are a very, very quick side going forward and they like to curate a lot of chances. Overall, obviously you guys have got more experience, but it should be a pretty important game in my opinion for the under 23/21s. A lot of the players are going to be looking to break into the first team, so this game is going to provide a lot of opportunity for them to perform against the first team and you guys against Hull. So yeah, I think the Leicester players are going to have a point to prove and they're going to want to really put in a good performance. Obviously it's only pre-season, but it will still be a pretty important game for the under 23s. If I had to have a score prediction, I think it will be a fairly open game. Obviously it's only pre-season friendly, but it's still an important game for the Leicester under 23s. Like I said, if they want to break into the first team, they need to be putting in big performances against the teams like you guys as Hull. So if I had to give a score prediction, I'd probably say maybe a 2-2 draw, something like that, possibly a 3-2 win to you guys. I think it will be an open game. I think the Leicester defence is a bit shaky, but going forward, they do offer a lot of threat as well. So you guys can expect a fairly tough game, and it won't be like an easy game for you guys. Obviously, it's only on the 23s. Of course, you guys will have more experience to physicality as well, but I think the pace of the under 23s will cause you guys a lot of problems defensively. So yeah, it should be a good game in pre-season. But overall, I'd say you guys are probably going to come out as winners. But yeah, that is basically it for the overview of the Leicester under 23s. Obviously, I don't know too much about the team, but yeah, it's a very, very strong. It's a fast team going forward, to say the least. Defensively, slightly shaky. So, like I said, it should be a very, very open game. But yeah, that is it for the Leicester under 23 side of things. Best of luck for the new season. I know you've had a lot of problems in the past with your owners, etc. for Hull. So hopefully that turns around for you guys, and hopefully we see you back in the Prem fairly soon. But yeah, best of luck for the new season. Not good luck when the under 23s take you guys on, but yeah, cheers for having me on the channel today. Make sure you do subscribe to my channel and Joe's, and yeah, lads, I'll see you soon. Cheers for having me on, and yeah, all the Leicester.
All right then, thank you, Josh. Made some very good points there. As you can see, I did take the Sydney Tavares and Donald Johnson points from him because I have to watch it all before I put it in the video just to check that it's all alright, and Josh got it spot on there. So Leicester, in terms of current form, there's nothing on there yet because I don't want to take it off the one game. Leicester, out of the teams in the Northern category, they did finish the highest of any teams in the PL2 last year. They were only beaten by Brighton and Chelsea, which is which are two teams in the southern category. So this is quite possibly the hardest game we could have got, but it'll be a good test. It will be a very good test. So, Leicester, they've got a good side, and as you heard Josh say there, they've got some very good players, and if we get onto this a couple of minutes, there might be a return for a certain fan favourite. Now, once there's been games in these things, it'll be updated, and once at the time of recording, I do not know the Carabao Cup draw, but once I do, I'll put it all on there, and there'll be a little tournament tree for the FA Cup, EFL Trophy group stage, and things like that. So it'll all be smashing once the season gets properly underway, and we've been going for a little bit. Around the grounds then, in our group, it is Grimsby at home to Harrogate Town. Now then, this is the segment I was talking about. Shared shirts. This is where we look at a player who has played for both clubs, and this is what I was talking about. Eldin Jakupovic may return, because there are a certain amount of overage players that you can put on, that you can put in the team. Jakupovic, 35, not had many opportunities at Leicester. So, Eldin, we signed him in 2012, and played 38 times for us, and in the Premier League especially was when he shone under Marco Silva. And Mike Phelan, before he brought in David Marshall, then refused to drop him because he was crap, but then, Marco Silva came in, picked up Jakupovic, put him back in the team, then we dropped down to the Championship, lost Jakupovic, Marshall was back up to McGregor, and things like that, and yeah, Marshall was smashing in the Championship. He's just signed for Derby's, David Marshall. Anyway, Jakupovic was with us until 2017. He had 2 loan spells at Leyton Orient. 2 separate loan spells. In total, he played, 13 games for Leyton Orient in between the sticks. And since signing for Leicester in 2017, he's played just the 2 games for the senior side. And, yeah, it's not been the best of moves, has it, for Jakupovic? But if he can play against us, it'll top it off for us, because all the Hull fans still absolutely adore Eldin. On to my predicted team then. Grant McCann's trusty 4-3-3. Matt Ingram in goals, back four of Josh Emmanuel, Sean McLaughlin, Alfie Jones making his Hull City debut, and Brandon Fleming, with Richie Smallwood, Greg Docherty and Dan Batty in the middle. Martin Samuelson and Malik Wilkes are the wingers, and Lewis Potter takes the, what's the word for it? The place up top. These 3 will probably be in just any random order. The bench is Harvey Cartwright. Does anyone else hate the graining that Hull City put on the photos this year? It's alright when it's just like on a phone or whatever, but when it's at higher resolution on a big screen, it looks absolutely disgusting. So it's Harvey Cartwright, Jordy Device, Reece Burke, George Honeyman, Jacob Greaves, Max Sheaf and James Berry, wearing the number 35 this year, who complete my predicted lineup. Now, what do I want? What would I play? I've gone 4-1-4-1, so you might be able to see what I'm going here with a defensive midfielder. In goal is Matt Ingram, back four of Josh Emmanuel. I forgot to change that again. Sean McLaughlin, Jacob Greaves and Brandon Fleming. With defensive midfield, Alfie Jones, he can play there. He played there for Gillingham last year. Martin Samuelson on the right, Richie Smallwood and Dan Batty in the middle, Malik Wilkes on the left, and Keane Lewis Potter up top. The bench is Harvey Cartwright, Jordy Device, George Honeyman, Festus Arter will feature on the bench, Reece Burke getting a little rest, Max Sheaf and Greg Docherty and James Berry. That is what I think we should play. That's the 2. If you compare them, what do you think? Whose team is better? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you would do. Things like that. Anyway, let's get on to the predicted score. Now, in terms of predicted score, I'm not really sure what to think. Because, we didn't look too convincing on the attack. We didn't look too convincing defensively. Our attack hasn't got any stronger. If anything, it's got weaker because we've lost Tom Eaves to injury. But I can see us digging deep. I can see us digging deep for this one and just about mustering up a 1-0 victory. That's what I reckon. We'll beat Leicester's under-23s 1-0. I reckon it'll be a really, really close game in this EFL trophy matchup. And yeah, I think it'll be a good game for a neutral to watch, and I think it might come with a bit of frustration for us Hull City fans watching at home if you pay the £10 for it. As you can see there, Tuesday the 8th of September, that should say 5:30pm kickoff, sorry, it's 5:30pm kickoff. Yep. Use foot help, if you want some FIFA 21 help, trading Discord, things like that for when the game comes out. Use my sponsors, Foot Helpers, in the description. Use code OldGrandpaJoe for 20% off. Follow me on social media. Don't forget to check out Josh, Sportsa on YouTube, sportsa.yt on Instagram. Subscribe, check out all the other stuff. And yeah, see you for the match reaction. Goodbye.